Hello fellow makeup lovers, how are you guys doing today? So I thought we could go ahead and finally play with the Dose of Colors Cutting Edge palette. I bought this like a month and a half ago and I'm finally pulling it out today to use for the first time. But it is a really cute little grungy color story. I've had really good experiences with Dose of Colors formula in the past. So in today's video I figured we could go ahead and do some swatches, and eye look, and then at the end I'm going to compare this to some other grungy color stories that I have and see if this really stands out or if it just kind of looks like a lot of other products that are already available if you love the kind of mixture of some like warm neutrals with some grungy greens as a color story. So let's just go ahead and jump right on in. Although I should say really quickly, good YouTuber moment, if you are new to my channel, I'm so happy to have you here. If you like content about indie makeup brands, this could be the place for you, maybe, possibly, so feel free to hit that subscribe button. It is free. So here's a little up close of the palette because I forgot to film one already. It is super pretty. I'm living for this green right here. It kind of matches my nail polish. Okay, so the first shade we have here is a matte, grungy, kind of yellowy green. Love the tone of that one. Then we have a sparkly gold, which looks like it has like a little hint of green to it. And then a warm orange matte. Actually, that one looks a little bit more brown than orange, but they all feel pretty smooth so far. And this is the first time that Dose of Colors has done these little 5-pan palettes with shimmers in them, because normally they're just all mattes. So I'm really curious to try this formula and see how it compares to some other shimmers they've done, because I have the Desi and Katie Volume 1 and Volume 2 palettes. And then, oh yeah, the Hidden Treasure palette has amazing shimmers. Those ones feel a lot more chunky than this one. So then we have the Shimmery Green, which looks a little bit deeper than I was expecting. And then a deeper matte green, again kind of grungier, dirtier tones. So it's just a cute little color story. So there's the 5 shades. I feel like it's cute, but I'm very curious to see how I'm going to end up feeling about this compared to other palettes and if it's anything special. Alright, so I already went ahead and primed my eyes with the Crow and Pebble eyeshadow primer in the shade Parchment, and I'm going to start off with the lightest matte shade, that light green. There's definitely quite a bit of kickback in the pan when I dip in, but I'm just going to go ahead and start that shade off through my crease. Ooh. Okay, that looks really nice. Just from starting right off, very, very like opaque on the eyes. Such a pretty color as well. I'm just going to lightly buff that out. Wow. That was so effortless. That was like 10 seconds. I feel like you could do this and follow it along the lower lash line, throw a shimmer on the lid, and be done in literally a minute. Wow. Okay. All right, now I'm going to take the deepest matte green in the palette. Again, feeling super pigmented, and I'm just going to pop that on my outer V. And then just kind of buff it out. This is just making me remember why I love the Dose of Colors matte formula so much. I mean, it's just so easy to work with. Just building that up a little bit. And then I'm going to go back into my previous brush and just lightly blend the edge. Alright, just for the heck of it, I'm going to go ahead and take the warm shade in the palette because I want to use all of the shades. And I'm going to take the brush that comes with the palette. I'm not a huge fan of this, but the pencil brush is okay, so I'm going to use that. Picking up so much, everything looks so pigmented. Just going to go ahead and pop that along the entire lower lash line. Yeah, this pencil brush is applying product well, but it's quite stiff, so it's uncomfortable to use. All right, I think I'm going to take the other side of the brush and just try and use that to blend this out a little bit. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead and go into that green as my lid shade today. I feel like it's going to be a little bit of a smokier moment, but I really want to see what that's all about. But I think I'm going to use a glitter primer just because I want to forego any fallout. So I'm going to take the NYX glitter primer and throw that all over my lid. I'm just going to tap that on the lid. Super pretty. I feel like this shade makes this palette a little bit different than a lot of other palettes that I have like this color story, because I feel like normally it's like a brighter, lighter green. And this is just a little bit more smoky, but it has really pretty reflex to it. I am grabbing a little bit extra and just like lightly tapping that into my crease and blending it out a little bit so it's not just a harsh line. Okay, lastly, I'm going to go ahead and take the golden shade and I'm going to pop that on my inner corner and kind of blend it into the lid and the lower lash line and popping it on. So to finish up this look really quickly, I'm going to use my Pixie eye pencil in the shade black, throw that in my waterline and tightline. I'm going to use the More mascara from We Makeup and I'll be right back. Okay, for highlighter, I'm going to take my Lethal Cosmetics highlight in the shade Isotope, which is a soft kind of golden tone. And then for lips, I'm going to use the Lethal Cosmetics lipstick in the shade Quest. Alright guys, so this is the finished look. I feel like it's super cute and fall, and I wish that it was cool enough to wear a sweater, but I can't. So a t-shirt it is. Just from trying the palette today, I will say that I do like it. I feel like the matte formula is really, really nice, just as I expected from Dose of Colors. That first really grungy green shade is literally a dream to work with. It was so, so nice, and the other two mattes were really great as well. The shimmers do feel nice. They're a little bit more dry than I was originally expecting just from trying other Dose of Colors formulas, but I do think they look pretty on the lid. I don't know if the golden shade looks like anything super special. They're nice. They complement the color story well, but I don't know. I feel like my favorite part of this entire palette is that one shade, and I don't know if it's worth it for that shade alone. So just to show you some quick comparisons of other palettes that are kind of similar, the one that I think is the most similar is the Kaleidos Futurism 1 Sci-Fi Green palette. The Kaleidos one is a little bit cheaper and it has more shades, but here's what they look like next to one another. I mean, you can see they both have like a warm matte shade, two different grungy greens, and then a gold and a green shimmer, although they're not all the exact same tones. I do appreciate that the Kaleidos palette has a black in it, and the shimmers in here are definitely a lot more foiled, like creamy metallic, so that's a really great alternative. And honestly, I feel like if you own this, then you probably don't need this Dose of Colors palette. I know I didn't need it. Another palette that I pulled out is the Juicy Olive palette from Give Me Glow Cosmetics, but I feel like nothing is super similar in between these two. I mean, all the tones of greens are quite different, and there are no neutrals in the Give Me Glow palette, so I think between these two, they'd actually be pretty complementary. Okay, this palette tends to throw the light off a little bit, but this is the colored Raine Safari Raine palette, and I would say between the matte green and the matte orange look pretty similar, but the shimmers in the colored Raine palette are miles more intense, and there's some extra colors, obviously. And then I have the Tribe palette from Juvias Place, and between these two, I feel like they'd be pretty complementary, but the Tribe is definitely a lot brighter overall. So overall, I guess I would say that this does seem to be a nice little palette of good quality, but I don't know if you already have a bunch of grungy greens, if it's really going to add that much into your life. I'm definitely going to keep playing with it, and I do appreciate how compact it is. I think it's super cute. I like Dose of Colors as a brand, so I'm not mad that I bought it. So that's everything for today. I hope you enjoyed the video and found it helpful, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.